Hi there, my name is Marco Panunzio from Panunzio Drainage, and we're going to be installing a backwater valve and sump pump in an older home inside the city of Windsor. We've decided to put the sump pump in this position here. Some work has already been done in this house. It looks like there's a weeping towel coming across the floor. As you can see, somebody's broken across the floor already once. And we also have the floor drain there, which is known as the collector box. That's where usually all the weeping tiles collect into these homes. So we're putting the sump pump there, so this way we can catch the tiles and make sure we have a tile that's working good for the sump pump. You can see right now that we have the weeping tiles here. We found one along the perimeter, and also we found one that's heading towards the floor drain here. So we want to make sure now that these tiles are in good shape and that they'll work for the sump pump for its job that it has to do.
I think that area is good.
We've now dug back to where the collector box is. There's another weeping towel. You can see the floor where it's been broken. There's an actual weeping towel. It's plastic and it's perforated pipe. It's just below the floor. So they may have had some issues with some of the drainage tiles here in the past. Right now you can see we've put the pit in. We've caught the tile along the perimeter. We've also gone back to the collector box to catch the tile there as well. So we know we've got all the good tiles here, and this way it'll function properly. Now we're just going to begin to start installing the pump, which you'll see in the next little bit. Need that plywood cover? Now this is the pump. This is a 1/2 horsepower Liberty pump that we're installing for the sump pump. And this is going to be the 1.5" discharge pipe that we're going to be installing. And then we'll be piping the pipe to the outside of the house, and it has to go to a green area. We want to make sure we're not going to be interfering with any of the neighbors or putting it in a bad location where it won't drain away from the property.
It's important to get a permit because if you're altering a drainage system within your house, there are regulations regarding the types of valves that are installed to prevent backflow. If someone installs the wrong valve in the wrong place, it won't work correctly.
How does someone access a permit? They just have to come to City Hall?
Yes, a permit for interior renovation or an alteration to a plumbing system is not difficult to obtain.
You just go to City Hall?
Yes, go to the 4th floor and they will take care of you. The City of Windsor has a basement flooding protection subsidy program. It's a very good program. The city contributes towards the installation. One of the requirements is that a permit is purchased and inspections are done prior to covering. So long as the building has a basement and so long as the owner of the building lives within the city limits, the house would qualify for some form of subsidy. Any house built prior to 1992 would most likely qualify to have a sump pump installed along with a backwater valve. Any house built after 1992 most likely qualifies for a backwater valve and an overflow piping system because any house built after 1992 already has a sump pump installed. The City of Windsor will reimburse for the installation if it goes through the subsidy program for 80% of the cost of the backwater valve up to a maximum of $1,000. And also, if there is a sump pump installed, if the building qualifies, the City of Windsor will reimburse the installation of the sump pump 80% up to a maximum of $1,750. Sometimes homeowners become discouraged if they've done all this work on their property and they still experience a flooding issue. There's always something that you can do to protect your house from flooding. If you're still experiencing flooding, it's most likely the water's getting back to your house through the old existing storm sewer that is underground. So the important thing to do then is to just find the problem by cameraing, locate the problem, and then it can be fixed.
The only thing is, once you go through, square. It's good.
Right there.
Make sure it's in. It's good.
All right, we've come outside now. Marco, can you explain to everybody what we're doing out here?
Right now we're just drilling a hole through the wall so we can get an 1.5 inch discharge pipe to the outside so the sump pump can release itself to the outside. And right now we're just going to stop it past the landscaping here for temporary till they carry on and put some drainage pits and whatever else they're going to do to drain the water. Remember, we have to have it going to a green area, and we can't be discharging to a neighbor's property or where it's going to become a problem. So you want to make sure your discharge pipe is going to an area where it's not going to create another problem for the future. It's where it's got to be. That's where it's going to be roughly. That's pretty much it. We've now put in some water inside the pit because we don't have any groundwater running into it at the moment. But we put some water and we're going to test the pump and make sure that we have no leaks on our piping that we just did. Pump shut off, everything works good, there's no leaks, we're all set.
So we're almost finished, Marco. Can you just quickly run over what's been done here and what you have left to do?
Well, right now we've installed the backwater valve. You can see there's a clean out in front, the backwater valve with the housing there on the floor. And we also installed the sump pump here as well with the discharge pipe going outside of the house. And that's pretty much it. We've done everything we were going to do. And now the only thing we have left to do is to put the cement back on the floor. And that's it.